Hello and welcome to SEGA News Bits. I'm your host George, and with me is Barry.
Hello.
And today, I have bad news for you people.
What?
We're going to be talking about the most disappointing game of SEGA in 2017.
No.
I know, you're shocked.
Those don't exist.
I know, they don't exist. And so this episode's over. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
No, SEGA did have a couple of, they had a lot of great games. I think we only had 2 games where people could say those were bad games and they should have been held back. One of them won my most disappointing game of the year, and I guess I'll start it off this time. My most disappointing game of 2017 from SEGA was Sonic Forces. Ooh. And I know, people are going to be like, you love Sonic, right? I love Sonic, okay? But that game should have been an A+ game. It should have been better than Generations. That's all I wanted, just be better than Generations, have more content than Generations. And while it did do the whole unlockable avatar thing, I feel like everywhere else, it was just a step back for the franchise. For the team and the franchise. And Sonic Mania won our best game of the year, and that was a brand new team with brand new members coming together that didn't work together prior. I guess they worked on fan projects, but they lived across the world. They had everything going against them. And Sonic Team comes out and they still shit the bed. I don't think they should have done that. I think this was the time where they should have put up. The Sonic brand was doing really well. The hype was there. They had that party. Everybody was feeling great. Sonic Team is the only one that didn't deliver, in my opinion, and that's why I think Sonic Forces is the most disappointing SEGA game of 2017. But let's hear what Barry has to say.
Wow. Well, I'm going to have to tender my resignation, you Sonic hater, because I'm part of the defense squad. No, I'm just kidding.
The defense squad? Is that an actual thing?
Yeah, it is, actually. But So before I pick mine, well, actually, let's talk about another game. Let's talk about Valkyria Revolution.
That's a good game, right, guys?
So Valkyria Revolution, that was the other game you were talking about at the beginning, where you were saying there were 2.
Yeah.
And the problem with that game is it's just boring. It's boring. It's a spin-off. It tries something new, but it's just bleh. Like I didn't play a lot of it, but I played enough just to get bored. And it just made me want to play Valkyria Chronicles.
I do give it Sonic Forces that, at least the gameplay, even though the levels are short. Some of the levels are actually fun. Yeah, I agree with you. Valkyria Revolution is a huge disappointment. I think SEGA should have left it in Japan at this point.
Yeah.
But I do say one thing. People already forgot about that game. They're already looking forward to Valkyria Chronicles 4.
And that's actually my point, is that, here we are, and it just feels silly kind of to bring it up now because we have Valkyria Chronicles 4 coming, and it's it's in the snow, and it's bringing it back. I think even it takes place during the original game, right? It's like a different squad.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and so that's really exciting. And so here we are, and we're we're not even a year out from the last Valkyria game, and we're already back on track in the numbered titles, back on consoles. Everyone's going to get to enjoy it. It looks great. So because of that, I'm going to pick Sonic Forces as my most disappointing game. And that's because this isn't worst game. I would say Valkyria Revolution is the worst SEGA game of 2017. However, Sonic Forces is the most disappointing SEGA game of 2017 because of what it was coming off of. And I'm not just, I know chronologically Lost World is there. I kind of liked Lost World. I thought it was a different direction to take things, not my ideal direction. But when they were really pushing Forces, or at the time Project Sonic 2017, they named Generations and they named Sonic Colors, which very clearly says it's like those games. And when you play it, it is, but there's so many things that so many simple things that they do wrong. Like, it's incredibly, I guess, simple, you know what I mean? Like, it's very linear.
Very.
They actually stripped away some of the things, like the drift, in Generations, where you turned into a little ball and drifted around corners. They took that away, and you needed that in some stages. Remember that one where it was, like, all white and outside? I kept falling off because I couldn't drift.
Yeah, and that was one of the replays that made a lot of those reviews where they're like, all the levels suck, even though it was only a few levels that had that. But Sonic Team should have known that, and they should have fixed it. I'm hoping that there's patches for this game. Mm-hmm. But I think the damage is done. Yeah. I think the Sonic brand needed this game to be really good. Yeah. And it didn't get it.
And that's the thing, is that you start off and the stages are maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes long. And I was, in defense of the game, I was going out there and saying, well, we don't know what the later stages are. And past Sonic games have taught us that, they get progressively longer. Nothing like in the 20-minute range, but it was kind of expected that the final stages would maybe be 5 minutes to 8 minutes. And they weren't. Like, the final stages for all 3 characters were, just like 3 or 4 minutes long. I remember playing the final modern Sonic stage, and I was like, I got some water, used the bathroom, sat down, and I was like, all right, let's do this. And I was done in 3 minutes, and I was like, that's it? But having said that, it's funny because they put the most effort into the avatar. And I've been playing the game still. And that's one thing I will say about the game over Valkyria Revolution is I'm still playing it. Like, I still want to go back and experience things. Not that I'm, like, playing it to, like, make myself believe it's a better game than I think it is. But, it's just like the avatar stuff. I'm starting to see now that there's a lot more to it. But classic Sonic's very boring, very, very basic, especially after Sonic Mania. Do you remember in the Death Egg classic Sonic stage? You get to this, like, this edge, and then you go into that whoop, 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 where it turns into the circles?
Yeah, yeah.
And you fly all over the damn place, and I was like, oh, what's it gonna do? It spit me like in-game, like 20 feet away on a ledge that, if there were like 3 platforms I could have hopped over to. Like, it was just so basic and bland.
And my problem with a lot of the gameplay in this game too is that, like, it's trying to not make you platform sometimes. Like, the avatar, some of its powers are literally go over all these platforms so you don't have to platform. And that's the only way to actually get a good time and good ranking in every level.
Yeah, and so it's like, I wanted more of a challenge. I wanted more of a kind of generations or colors kind of experience in terms of progression. I mean, I didn't review the game and give it a rating. I probably would have been a little nicer than you were. What did you give it, a C-?
A C-, yeah. I just said it was an okay game that barely made it to the okay point.
Yeah, I probably would have gone C+, and maybe on a good day B-, but probably C+. But, having said that, it's not, I don't know, it's like on one hand it's not a terrible game, but on the other hand, based on what they've previously done just recently, it could have been a lot better, especially coming off of Colors and Generations, and even Mania, even though it's a totally different team. It's just like, did we need Forces this year? That's my question. I didn't want it. Mania, I was still playing, and I'm like, Jesus, there's another Sonic game coming out?
I think they wanted it out probably for the money, I guess. They want a holiday Sonic game. I think the game is going to bomb, honestly, and I think they should have gave it another year. It's obvious that a lot of stuff needed polish. Sorry to bum everybody out this holiday season, but this is our most disappointing games of 2017 from SEGA. What are your most disappointing SEGA games of 2017? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this channel, subscribe, share this video with your friends, do all that other stuff that people do. What do they do?
Humble brag. EDM.
Dabby.
Dab.